Hello everyone, we are recording. Let me just jump on and share with you. Holy crap, I have a lot of things open. Alrighty. We are rolling. Okay. So hello everyone. I'm just going to turn this so I can, there we go. So hi everyone, my name is Brittany McLean. I am a diamond leader with doTERRA, and I didn't change the script on this. This was from a presentation I did a little while ago, but I have been feeling really called to talk a lot about my journey and how I went from completely hesitant and uber doubtful and really, at the end of the day, scared to get started on this business journey to a powerhouse entrepreneur and somebody who has created a six-figure residual income, a multiple six-figure residual income for my family. So an income that I'm paid regardless of whether I'm working or not. And it is my absolute honor and passion to teach others to do the exact same thing. So I really want to give you guys the lowdown on who I am, why I've been so inspired and drawn to do this and to share my message with you and give you an idea of how you can do the same thing. Oops. So who am I? I kind of give you a little bit of an intro there, but oops, why is this working so funny? There we go. But like I said, my name is Brittany McLean. This is Leo, the dog, and Aaron. And they are the absolute loves of my life. So just to give you a little bit of an idea of kind of my journey into doTERRA, I got started using doTERRA and building my doTERRA business a little bit, I'd say it's about 3.5 years ago. So I got started using oils in February of 2015. And I'd say I started to build my business a few months later. It wasn't like I wasn't a right on board kind of person. I needed to kind of work my way up to it. But I started a couple of months later, and really the rest was history. But prior to doTERRA, I am a college and university dropout. So I actually attended 6 years of post-secondary school before I decided that it really wasn't for me. So I actually went to Nipissing University in North Bay, and I studied physical education. And I thought that was it for me until I had a really horrible university experience. I ended up moving home and attended McMaster in Hamilton. And I went to Mac for 2 years. I was in their geriatrics program. And that was my thing. I, at the time, was working in long-term care as a recreation therapist. And I was doing programs and events and all kinds of fun things with the elders in this long-term care home I was working at. And I thought that was it for me. So I was studying geriatrics. I was in school. At the time, I was in a long-term relationship. And it was just, there was a part of me that was so unfulfilled. I am a chronic learner. I'm like the worst student, but I love being a student. I will be a student for life. But I'm a really bad student in that I do not like being told what to do. So I don't like being told when homework's due. I don't like being told that I need to write a paper on this. Because if I want to study something, I'm going to study it at my own pace, and I'm going to study it to my own ability. And university and college weren't for me. So following Mac, I actually dropped out of Mac and I attended George Brown College in Toronto. And I figured that the college experience would be more for me, right? Like it's like the hands-on thing. And again, it wasn't for me. I had straight A pluses. I was a 95 to 100% student. I was really good at what I was doing. But while working in long-term care, I was so unfulfilled. It wasn't even funny. Like I loved my job. I loved it. But I worked 10-hour days. I even worked when I went home because I was constantly preparing for things. And as much as I loved it, I was so psychologically drained working the job that I knew that I couldn't do this for the rest of my life. I knew right away at the age of 20 years old that this is something I couldn't do for the rest of my life. And not only that, I had maxed out my pay. So at 20 years old, working in long-term care, which is an incredible job, I had maxed out my pay, which to me was mind-boggling, considering at 20 years old, I was struggling to pay the bills, and I worked with people who had families, and that scared me, the fact that I was struggling at 20, and I knew that that would be a income that I would have to support a family one day. So all of these things ran through my head. And along this same time, I fell into yoga. So I actually became a certified yoga teacher. I'm Baptiste certified, for those of you who are kind of, the yoga world. And I thought that that was like the thing for me. I really believed that yoga was going to be that step for me in, I want to say finding myself, but just finding that next part of the journey. So like I said, like I am a student of life. I'm a student, and I listen to kind of the ways that the places I'm being called. And yoga for me was one of those things. I was going through at the time a bad breakup. And yoga was that sanity. It was that one thing that really held me together. But for those of you who are in the yoga world, you know that really there's not very much you can do in yoga, right? There's not very far you can go as a yoga teacher. So I like to call this part of my journey like the lost but hold it all together, because I was so lost and I was just following that next step towards really greatness. So people say to me all the time, you found success really fast in your journey with doTERRA, which I did. I hit the rank of diamond in 14 months. However, I had been on this self-help journey for a really long time. So for many of you guys, this might be you at this point in your life, this kind of lost but hold it all together, the yoga teacher who's really trying to just keep it together. But there's more out there for you. You just can't figure out what it is, right? So that was me at this point. I knew there was more, but I wasn't sure exactly what that was. Until I met my bestie and upline, Geraldine. So Geraldine and I actually knew each other from the yoga days. So I had actually met Geraldine from yoga, and it was kind of an interesting story. I actually took over her yoga classes and was the teacher that kind of took over her spot when she moved to the next step in her journey, which was teaching yoga in larger spaces and things like that. So I was introduced to doTERRA through Geraldine, and at the time when I was introduced to oils, it was strictly for the oils. Really, secretly in the back of my mind, I knew that there was a business opportunity that I was really interested in. But at the time, I was dealing with a lot of health issues. I had been experiencing some horrible stomach pains and digestive issues that I couldn't get to the bottom of. And so essential oils were that thing for me that were going to help that. But like most things go, when you actually start to experience benefits from something, you have to talk to others about it, right? We are very passionate about sharing with others our journey. And so for me with doTERRA, that was the thing. So from the very beginning of my business, I was so dedicated to being great. I didn't want to be okay. I didn't want to be good. I wanted to be unfreaking believable. And so you'll see here, like this bottom right corner, I just had headshots done. I was teaching classes. I had my board of all of my ranks ready to go. I was like totally ready. Like I was just going to nail this. And so this was the I meant for more, Brittany. I knew that there was more out there, and I was ready and willing to do whatever it would take to get there, right? I was just completely dedicated to that. And this is really, I'd like to say, the me now, the brave, encouraged, strong, empowered, the courageous me. The person who I am now is not the same person that I was 3.5 years ago. It's really funny because I meet people all the time who I knew in high school. I'll see them out and about. They're like, you've changed a lot. And I always say, thank God. Because if I was the same person 3.5 years into this journey, that's a problem, right? So people say to me all the time, this business has changed your life. And it's changed our life more than I could ever imagine. And I'll talk about this, but above all, it's changed me as a person and as a human being. And that is something that I will be forever grateful for, is the person that I have become because of doTERRA. So these are photos of, like, there's a photo of me actually in the red dress. I was speaking to a crowd of 1,500 people at doTERRA's regional summit in Toronto. And the photo just below that is me speaking at a wellness summit in London to 1,000 people. And I'm not a public speaker. I never have been. I have no formal training in public speaking. It actually makes me uncomfortable, but I love it now because I'm able to share a message that I've wanted to share for so long. And that's how to help people heal financially, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. So this is just to kind of give you a glimpse. I can't talk about the business without talking about the person that I've become because of this business. I can throw numbers at you and I can throw all kinds of things at you and try and talk you into tell you how amazing this business is. But if I didn't or wasn't able to show you the trajectory that my life has taken because of this business, I'm really not doing my job. So you might be wondering, why did she talk all this much? And it's really to show you guys the path that I've taken. Guys, I was really broken when I started my doTERRA business. I was in a poor relationship, not the relationship I'm in now, clearly, but I was in a poor relationship. I was just trying to hold my life together. And I truly didn't think that there was anything out there for me to do. I dropped out of university, dropped out of college, quit my job, had a little midlife crisis and moved to Toronto working at a restaurant. Moved home, which is like, you know, when you move out of your parents' house, that's like the last thing you want to do is move home. Moved home, started working for the family business for like the 9th year in a row. And I thought that was going to be my life. I thought I was honestly going to be the person who is having my parents provide for me. And I was the person going to struggle for life financially. I didn't want that, but I just didn't think there was another option, especially as a college dropout. So I asked myself these two questions on a day when I was like completely down in the dumps. But I said, if I were to do nothing different, would I be happy in 5 years at the same place as I am today? And this was a question for me that we ask ourselves even in our relationship. Erin and I talk about this all the time. If we were to do nothing different in our relationship, would we be happy in 5 years? So if I were to do nothing different in my life, are you okay with that? Because I knew that I was not. So at the time, I was 21 when I started my doTERRA business. I had like $25,000 debt to my name, credit card debt. And I was in a good relationship, pretty great relationship. Same relationship I'm in now. We've gotten a lot better. But I knew that I wouldn't be happy in 5 years. I wanted kids in 5 years. And for me, I was like, well, if I'm doing this, kids aren't even in the equation, right? So think about this. When you're down, if I were to do nothing different, am I okay doing this right now in 5 years? P.S. That's the definition of insanity, just in case you were wondering. Doing the same thing every day and not changing, that's the definition of insanity. And then number 2 is, does your current income stream have a cap? So if you were to stay in the same job for life, are you capped out at a certain amount? And guys, at 20, I was capped. That was it. Unless I became a manager or I became an administrator, there was no growth that was happening. And even in those jobs, there was growth, absolutely, but I couldn't really get any further, right? There was no real growth in my income. Administrators would make what administrators make, right? So Does your current income stream have a cap? This shocked me. At 20, my income was capped and I was struggling financially. So I couldn't imagine what that meant when I would have multiple children running around and a husband, and I had these big hopes and dreams for my future. I wasn't okay with that. And guys, you really shouldn't be either. Whoops. So people say to me all the time, why network marketing? Prior to doTERRA and prior to my journey with doTERRA, I had been in another network marketing company. And I'll be completely honest with you, I was really ashamed to talk to people about the fact that I was involved in my second network marketing company. But the difference is that not every network marketing company is created equally. I want you to remember this, okay? If you have been jaded by a previous company, I just want you to know that they're not all the same, okay? But why network marketing? It's the only way, and only way, guys, only way to create a residual income without putting your eggs in one basket. So these individuals, and you might be one of them, you have the corporate job that pays you $100K. Cool, that's awesome. But what happens when you're laid off? Or you're fired? Or you get sick? All your eggs are in one basket. Whereas if I get sick or God forbid, something happens to me, my income is still there regardless of if I'm working or not. It allows your talents, gifts, and passions to shine in your own way. I am not the same as my uplines, and I am not the same as my downline. We are all different, but we have the exact same vehicle and tools to share with the world. It's a streamlined business with minimal overhead. So guys, other than me placing a $100 order every single month, and now obviously different fees like accounting fees and things like that, I have no overhead. I have no franchise fee to pay. I have no royalties to pay to somebody, nothing. It is the best, and I will scratch best and actually say only business opportunity for millennials. And I am a firm believer in this because as a college dropout, a millennial college dropout, I had no opportunity. There was no chance in hell I was going to make $100K in the workforce without a degree. So if you are a millennial or not a millennial, but I love speaking to the millennial specifically, who doesn't have a degree or is struggling, it is the best opportunity for you to live out your best life. And I can say that hands down. And just this little tip here, over 90%, 90, not 20, 90 freaking percent of women who make six figures or more have done so through a home-based business. Guys, like, this is a no-brainer. And the reason being is that you can be home with your kids and you can make six figures and be present. Like, guys, this is just, for me, it's one of those things where it's like, this is just a absolute no-brainer. You've got to, yeah, I can't even say anything more about that. People say this to me all the time. Oh, you're involved in a pyramid scheme. And it's really funny because, number one, pyramid schemes are illegal. They are literally shut down by the Better Business Bureau instantly upon being found. They completely illegal. And I'll often say to them, what does your job look like? What does the structure of your company look like? Because I've actually never seen anything that is so schemy and looks like a pyramid as I have the typical corporate structure, right? Because you've got your hardworking employees, your team leaders, your middle management, vice president, president, and CEO at the top. You will never make, as a hardworking employee, what your CEO makes, nor will you ever have their job. So I don't know, that sounds a lot like a pyramid scheme to me. And I would really rather this network marketing structure where any single person in my downline can outrank me and out-earn me. AKA, they have my job. And I'm still paid what I'm paid, and I'm still supporting my team like I would support my team, regardless of how much money they make or what rank they are. So there are other network marketing companies where if you outrank your upline, you're actually removed from the team. It's called a breakaway. But doTERRA, because they're so incredible and they're all based on supporting each other and building each other up, we can outrank each other. You can outrank me, you can out-earn me, but you're still on my team and we still support one another. So this is just this kind of, let's squash this idea here because they don't exist anymore. So when looking for a business model, there are a few things that are super duper important. That's really super cool. Tessa, you can share that with me. When looking for a business model, you want amazing retention and an ever-growing company. You want a heart-centered company. So you want a company that's not just all about making money or getting you driving cars or, I don't know, millionaires clubs and all these things. You want a company that's actually heart-centered and wants the best for their leaders. You want a consumable product, a product that you can use over and over and over again. So this to me is genius because I only need one necklace a year, whereas I need essential oils every single day and I eventually run out of them. And I need body care products and shampoo and conditioner. So a consumable product is a product that literally you need all the time. You'll need this product for life. Ultimately. I'm just going to mute everybody here. And then you want a compensation plan that's on your side. So this is key, guys. There are so many people that get started in network marketing because it's network marketing, right? It is genius, but they don't realize the need to have a compensation plan that's on your side. Any single person becomes really good at explaining why their compensation plan is the best. And of course, I can be one of those people too. I have a very biased opinion of the doTERRA compensation plan. But if you actually look at it, which I'm going to show you in depth, you're going to understand what I mean. Oops. So why doTERRA? Like I said, I was with a network marketing company before this. And when I came to doTERRA, these were the things that stood out to me and were the main reason that I was an immediate yes. I knew immediately this is what I had to do. So they're a 100% debt-free company. So for some of you, you might be thinking, well, cool, that's awesome. But doTERRA has no long-term debt as $1 billion company, which is almost impossible to find. We're a $1 to $2 billion company with reaching 20 to 30 billion in 10 years. We have over 1 billion now in annual revenue. We have a 70% retention rate. This here is gold because retention is what keeps people coming back. So number one, you have a consumable product that everybody needs. So supplements, body care products, essential oils, which is your healthcare needs. But you need to look at retention. The industry standard for people coming back and ordering a product again after enrollment is 10%. So that means literally you enroll somebody and only 10% of those people come back and order again. It's a freaking lot of work. Whereas with doTERRA, our retention rate is 70%. So when you enroll somebody, 70% of the people you enroll are coming back. So when people say to me, I have friends in network marketing that say to me, oh my gosh, my volume is so hard to get every month. If I were to enroll people with $100,000 in revenue for a month, that means that next month, my revenue is going to be about 70,000 because 70% of that 100 I enrolled came back. Whereas if you're working that hard at 10% of the industry standard, that's really difficult. So the reason this happens is because of the consumable product, a high-end product, and a really incredible, supportive, monthly ordering system that people love. And doTERRA, doTERRA is the leading essential oil company in the world. We are the #1 network marketing company in North America. And the essential oil industry is doubling in coming years. So people say to me all the time, it's saturated, or there's so many people doing it. It's just the start. So if you think this is getting good now, wait until people are asking about essential oils. The top network marketing companies are all coming out with essential oils. So it just goes to show that the disruption that's happening, right? So the heart of the company, and I can't talk about this business without talking about these incredible people who I actually know personally, which you wouldn't find that in any other company, where you can actually sit knee to knee and have a conversation with the executives of your company. So there's 7 executives. So Emily Wright's in the middle, and she's surrounded by 6 men. These are the founding executives. So they are actually they were the beginning of doTERRA. They were the first people to bring doTERRA to us. They have a combined 150 years of network marketing and oil experience, which is huge. And initially when they started, they wanted to source the highest quality essential oils in the world. And then once that happened and they became debt-free and experienced this type of freedom, they wanted to help the most people become debt-free, which is insane to me. So it's amazing to see a company that the heart of the company experiences something for themselves and then wants others to experience the exact same thing. And that's all this business is, right? Is we experience something and then share that with others. And so this is the heart. This is the reason I love these people. I've traveled to Vancouver with Emily Wright. I've had lunch with Emily. I've had dinner with her. I've sat and had, I've had a glass of wine. We've sat and had like a planning sesh. She's amazing. So these people are literally like the bread and butter of the industry. It's incredible. But I can't talk about this business without talking about the product that drives the business, right? Because it's great. We can talk often about how amazing this business is, but this business isn't driven and it's not a vehicle without a product. So doTERRA sources the #1 essential oil, or the best essential oils in the world. We are the only company that has complete pure standards. So there's nothing else in your bottle. You've got pure essential oil in that bottle. We're also the only company that is approved for dietary use and for internal consumption, unless the oil cannot be taken internally. So you can use all your oils unless otherwise noted internally, which is, to me, the #1 deciding factor when it comes to an essential oil. There are way too many oils on the market that #1 tell you to contact poison control, which is mind-boggling. And #2 tell you to actually take caution when even using it topically or aromatically. So that alone is a red flag. We got to be really cautious. If you're buying your oils at HomeSense or Marshalls or TJ Maxx or Walmart or Michaels or Bath and Body Works, for God's sakes, you need to really be cautious about what you're using and how you're using it, because of there's no standard in terms of essential oils. So it's crazy. But this was the beginning for me. I love kind of coming back to this, because I actually remember the day exactly that my essential oils were delivered. I was drawn in by beautiful packaging and clearly needed a detox, as you can see by all the oils that I purchased. They're all detoxifying oils. But I was so drawn in by this mission. And look at me. I immediately, the moment my oils came, I wasn't even building a business. I started sharing. That was it for me. And kind of the rest was history. I only got 17 likes on my posts back then. I was just a little baby. But why people keep coming back? And this is the thing I look at with people all the time, is that it's amazing to have a great product, but it's a lot better to have a product that people keep coming back for. So doTERRA solves hundreds of problems for the average household, and it's the only company of its kind, literally. It is the only company that you can order absolutely everything to support your family, including your health care. There is no other company out there of its kind. There are companies trying to keep up with it. There are a lot of companies launching essential oil lines, but there is never going to be a company that is able to compete with the quality that doTERRA has to offer. Okay, so people keep coming back because we solve problems for people, right? It's not that doTERRA ropes people in. 70% of people reorder because their need is met with doTERRA, right? So this is like the absolute favorite thing that I share ever. I'm gonna let it sit in for a second. But I want you to look at, this really comes back to, does your income stream have a cat? Yeah, doTERRA is the Gucci of essential oils. You can't compare it to a no-name. True story. But I love this here. It comes back to, does your income stream have a cat? Which it does. Everybody's does. So on the left-hand side is the current 10-year corporate plan. And this is actually even starting pretty steep. So say you were to start out year 1, you received your annual raise every year, and by year 10, you're making about 67K, right? This is like the average start into corporate, right? This is not your lawyers, your doctors, standard start into the corporate world. If you were to actually look on the right-hand side, it's the doTERRA 10-year plan. And this is if you were to hit one rank every single year for 10 years in doTERRA. So if you were to hit one rank a year, which looking at Executive Elite Premier Silver, those are ranks you typically hit quick in a year. So if it took you 10 years to hit the rank of Presidential Diamond, in 10 years, you'd be looking at a $1.2 million income. And guys, I can tell you now that the average person hits Presidential Diamond in 4 or 5 years, if not less. So what are we waiting for, right, is my question. Because I can tell you now, so 14 months into my business, I hit the rank of Diamond. 14 months into my business, I hit a $220,000 annual salary. And I was 23 years old. So this is why this is the most feasible option to create residual income for a family as a millennial, is because of this incredible opportunity that even if it did take me 10 years to hit Diamond or Presidential Diamond, I don't care, right? There's no other business opportunity out there anywhere where you can do this and work part-time hours, right, with your full heart and make this income, right? I have this conversation with lawyers all the time, and they'll tell me, yeah, I make that much. And I'm like, how long have you been in the industry for? And they're like, 30 years. And I'm like, cool, right? So just goes to show the opportunity that we have as women, right? Especially. I love this. So here's just for an idea. This is the average monthly earnings in doTERRA. And so typically you start at Elite. Elite, you're looking $300 to $500. Premier, $800. Silver, $2,200. Gold, $4,900. Platinum, $96. Diamond, $17. Blue, $38K. Presidential, $112. And it's really funny because when I first started my business, I share this all the time. When I first started my business, my goal, guys, was to pay for organic groceries. That's all I wanted. Like, it was a small goal that I had to be able to afford organic groceries monthly. Because at the time, organic was out of the question. There was no way in hell we were going to be able to afford to pay for organic food. It just didn't happen. And so as that happened, then I was like, well, what if I left my job? And so I knew that I had to hit gold to leave my corporate job. And so I did that. And in 8 months, I left my corporate job as a gold leader. I just hit platinum, actually. just shortly after I left, I hit platinum. And then just shortly after that, I hit diamond. And I remember looking at these numbers and thinking, this is insane. Like, who needs that much money? Or that doesn't exist. Or yeah, sure, I'm going to hit diamond and my paychecks are going to look like that. And I can tell you now that this income is real. Is it real the first month you hit diamond or the first month you hit silver? No, it takes time to build. But that's the beauty of this, is that we don't have a cap. So you can actually be diamond and be making 30K if you wanted to. It's just a matter of your business structure, how things look in your organization, how long you've been doing this for, right? But that's the beauty, is no one's stopping us anywhere. This is Tessa probably chatting me up. Yeah, that's what I love. If you guys are looking in the chat, Tessa said, what would my life look like if I made $9,600 a month? And guys, there's a lot of people who are platinum and diamond and still work full time. So could you imagine if you work full time, maybe you make a $60,000 or $100,000 income and you're making an extra 9 or 17 a month? What would your life look like? Right? Maybe you love your job and you actually want to stay in your job, or you want to go part-time and keep that up, but build your doTERRA business as a legacy on the side. What if, right? These are the questions I want you to really start to ask yourself, is what if? What if I did the same thing every day for 5 years? Is that okay? And for some of you, you might be completely okay with that. And then in 5 years, something strikes and you're like, no, I'm not okay with this anymore. Sometimes it just takes that moment of something happening and it creates this moment of clarity. So if you're thinking, I'm okay with that, that's okay, right? You don't need to change that. But I just want to kind of start to plant this seed, is what if things were a bit different? What if I change things a bit? So there's 5 ways to earn in doTERRA. You have retail, fast start, power 3, unilevel, and leadership bonus pools. Have a boat and travel the world. I'm going to go through them in finer detail. So retail is basically you make 25% off of what somebody purchases at retail. This is hauling buckets, and I don't talk about it because I don't do it. Kind of point blank there, okay? So I kind of just ignore the whole retail option because I don't really talk about it a lot. But you've got fast start. So fast start is paid every single week of the year. You'll see these were my first fast start paychecks for, I don't know, the first 2 weeks, or sorry, 2 months of the year, 3 months. So this is paid every single week. It's deposited automatically every single Friday into your bank account. It is amazing. This here is my investment money. This is the money that I invest back into my business. At the start of my business, this was my here and now money. So I would invest 1 week, say, of that money into my business, and then I would pocket the rest and put it away for my groceries or whatever. At the beginning of your business, the fast start income is this is going to be a bit faster coming. This happens every week. You enroll someone, you're paid. You enroll someone, you're paid. So this is 20% commissions based on where you're located. So like I said, I look at it as my spending money. But how it works typically is you enroll Susan, you make 20% commission. Susan enrolls Stacy, Susan makes 20%, you make 10%, okay? Stacy enrolls somebody, you would make 5% off of that. Kind of see how that works? So it's paid the first 3 levels of enrollment underneath you, which is kind of sweet. So sometimes I get fast start checks and I haven't enrolled somebody and I'm like, where did this come from? But it's because my team is actively enrolling people, which is kind of cool. Too much talking today. This is my 3rd call in a row. So your unilevel, this is complicated. So I am not going to go into this in full detail. But basically, if you were to look at the right side, the reverse side, this is your typical network marketing company. So how it works basically is they are paid the highest amount on their first level of individuals underneath them, and they're paid the least amount on the people furthest down. So if you were to actually just picture it as like a family tree, pyramid, family tree, whatever you want to look at it as, and you were to look at the fact that it starts small at the top and it gets bigger at the bottom, you're paid the most amount on the least amount of people, and you're paid the least amount on the largest amount of people. This is the reverse. This is your typical network marketing structure. But doTERRA literally flipped it on its butt and pays us the least amount on the least amount of people, and pays us the most amount, 7%, on the most amount of people. So you've got a pyramid, you have a small amount of people up top, which I have 4 people on my front line. So if I was getting paid 7% on those 4 people, it's a bit of a waste, right? Whereas instead, I'm paid 7% on close to 1,000 people because of those people that are underneath me. So I want you to look at it this way. I'm not explaining it in full detail because it's complicated. But if you were to look at the fact that, like, look at the difference. You're paid on 2,100 people. The opposite is going to get paid $12K, and you're getting paid 32. So I kind of rather the 32 than the 12. And the reason that they've actually done this is for long-term growth. So the reason I tell you that your fast start's going to be spending money is because your unilevel takes a lot longer to grow. Okay, my first paycheck was 81 cents. So if that's not a little alarming at first, then I don't really know what is. But it grows, and it grows exponentially. But this is just kind of giving you an idea of how that works. So this is actually examples of my paychecks and the growth of my paychecks over the course of 3 months. So my unilevel, when I first started my doTERRA business, was actually 81 cents. And I remember getting paid I didn't even get paid because it was under $2, so doTERRA wouldn't cash the check. And I remember getting this check thinking, holy shit, like I've been doing all of this work and I haven't gotten paid that. Like I haven't got paid my worth. I didn't calculate the time and how much I was getting spent on the amount of time because it was like less than a penny per hour that I was spending, which was horrifying. But this is 2-year growth. So in 2 years, my unilevel commission, so that commission I just kind of explained in brief, hit $3,600. The following month, $3,600, and the month after, $4,800. It took a $1,200 jump in a month. This is long-term growth. My unilevel is the same every single month, whether I work or not. So if I were to be sick and I wasn't working, my unilevel is pay that I'm getting paid residually. That makes sense. So I just wanted to give you guys an idea of that growth that you can actually experience there fairly quickly. And then this is the beauty. The beauty happens at the ranks of Premier and above, where you're actually paid shares based off of global revenue in the company. So Premiers and Silvers, which is one of the first leadership ranks, you're actually paid a rising leader bonus. Premiers and Silvers, you're each paid 1 share. And that's 1 share. That 1 share is 1% of global revenue split between all Premiers and Silvers. So the shares you're looking at approximately $175 to $220, depending on the month, right? It kind of bounces between based on how many there are hitting. That's a nice $200 bonus. Silvers, golds, and platinums are each paid shares based off of the rank. So silvers are paid 1 share, golds 5, and platinums 10. So if you're looking at it, silver shares, that's 2% of global revenue split between all 3 of those people, those ranks. So it's about, like I said, $200. So golds, you're looking at about $750, almost $1,000. Platinum, you're looking at, I don't know, $2,000 bonus simply for hitting that rank, plus unilevel, which is kind of cool. I'm going to show you in a second. And then the diamond leadership pool and diamond performance pool is 4% of global revenue split between diamonds, blues, and presidentials. So again, if you were to look at that, I can tell you now that the diamond leadership pool is around $3,600, and the diamond performance is around $1,500. That's bonuses simply for hitting the rank of diamond, which is kind of crazy, right? Okay, so I broke it down here. So you guys can see here the performance and then the diamond pool, performance and diamond pool. But I want to draw attention to this one. You'll see actually they jump, right? 3,300, 3,700, 3,000. You'll see that this one's a bit lower. That means that revenue was higher, but there were more diamonds that hit that month. Okay, so this changes. It's ever changing. Revenue grows, but then more diamonds hit. So this is always fluctuating around, it fluctuates around the same amount, but just kind of showing you that the growth that's starting to happen. So why I dove in. doTERRA gave me the opportunity to allow my talents to shine in a way that I had never experienced before. So I get asked this a lot. What did doTERRA give you? Why doTERRA? doTERRA gave me life. Really, at the end of the day, I was just this shell of who I was supposed to be, trying to keep up with everyday life, thinking that this was normal, and just following in the footsteps of people who tried to tell me that this was the right way. Oh no, this is the right way. And we need to go through that path. However, I'm a firm believer that you need to challenge yourself to become the best version of you, not the version that somebody else wants you to be or following the path that somebody else wants you to follow. You really need to challenge yourself to try something different, to be bolder, to be bigger, to just try something new. It was the only opportunity that would allow me to create a legacy without sacrificing time and money. This was key for me because there were a lot of business opportunities I wanted to dive into. Like, we're actually looking at opening a gym, a really cool functional training gym. But I even look at that and I'm like, holy crap, look at the time and the money investment, like $250K to drop into a gym. So I was given the opportunity to create this incredible legacy for my family without sacrificing more than $1,500 a year on my oils and sacrificing my time, because it was an opportunity that I could fit into my schedule. No one else's, but mine. So this is why I dove in, because there was no, my fears were there, but there was no harm in trying, right? That's my thing is, what if you fail? It's like, cool, what if you fail? What if you fly? Like, what if you freaking rocket? Then what, right? And I always come back to this because people say to me all the time, well, I don't know enough people or whatever it might be. I've enrolled, and the number, I don't know why some things are bolded, but it starts with one sample. So my upline gifted me a bottle of wild orange. That bottle of wild orange, whether she knew it or not, has become me personally introducing 200 people or 250 people to essential oils over 3 years. That's me personally, knee to knee, online, on calls with people, 250 people. That's it. And that 250 people has led to a team of over 3,000 globally. We're actually in we are in 12 countries now around the globe. 12 countries, I've maybe been to 5 of them. So guys, you don't need to know anybody. You need to know one person, and that one person can become all of this. Because that one sample, over 3,000 lives were changed with thousands more coming. So I want to remind you guys that yes, you're one person, but you're one person that can change the lives of thousands of people. Thousands of people in countries you've never even traveled to, right? So stop letting that fear of not knowing people or not being personable or not wanting to talk to people or being an introvert or whatever it may be, stop you from building this business, because I'm shy. I'm really introverted. I love sitting behind a computer. I don't love going out. So, but that's been thousands of people that have been changed through that one sample. Oops. But I want to remind you guys that this is a business. And I get asked all the time, but why isn't it working? Or why do only some people succeed? And the key here is there's one simple question. Is doTERRA going to be your hobby that you work sometimes? Maybe you're sick of it today, you don't feel like doing it. Or is it going to be your legacy? Is it going to be something that you pour your whole soul into and realize that, yeah, it might take you 2 years of blood, sweat, and tears to get to a part of your business where you can have that time freedom? But is it going to be your hobby or your legacy? Because this is the deciding factor here, right? This is the part where really the magic happens, is in this simple decision of what it's going to look like for you. And then I always leave with this: when sleeping women wake, mountains will move. Because at the end of the day, there is magic that happens when a woman steps into her power and realizes that she is not the same as she was a few years ago, and that there are mountains to move. Because I can tell you now, I was sleeping when I started my doTERRA business. I had no idea what I was capable of. And there have been massive mountains that have moved because of my simple decision to just start. So I want to leave you with that, guys. And then I'm going to stop my sharing for 2 seconds. I'm going to pull up hold on 1 second. I'm just pulling up. Okay. Okay, cool. I'm going to share this with you and show you guys kind of how it works. Okay, so for those of you who haven't started yet on your doTERRA journey, I just wanted to give you the lowdown on kind of how things work, how we get you started, and kind of where we go from there. So I wanted to let you guys know that, oops. Look at you go, Tessa. The most simple way to do this is through, sorry, I'm just trying to do this as I talk to you. Okay, so you're going to go to doTERRA.com and you're going to choose the top, the login button. You can either hit it or you can just scan over it. And you're going to go to not a member. You're going to click enroll today. This is if you know who sent you. So if it's me, you're going to go through the prompts here and you're going to fill in the information that you need. And then you're going to enter in my ID. So if you don't have my ID, you can send me a message or just jot it down. It's 169-1129. If I'm not the person who introduced you to essential oils and somebody else introduced you to oils, then you would enter in their ID. Make sure you ask them for that. But you're just going to click continue. You can choose either Canadian or American warehouse. You'll click continue. If you're interested in getting started in the business, I highly recommend always beginning as a wholesale customer first. So you would choose the wholesale customer option, and then we can upgrade you at no charge to Wellness Advocate. And once we start the mentorship process, you'll understand why I do that. But just for now, we'll start with wholesale customer. You'll click continue, and then you'll fill in all your information. This is where you'll enter in the enroller ID. You can verify it, that kind of thing. But I want to give you guys an idea of kind of what what we get started with or how things would work. So there are a few different options for you. Typically what I recommend is getting started with a kit. So to kind of go through and do a little browse first, you'd click on products, and then you'd go to collections and enrollment, and then you would click on enrollment options. And then from here, you can do a little browse. So I want to give you an idea of kind of how things are working for the remainder of July. So if you're watching this recording, and it's the end of July, or you're catching this before midnight on July 31st, then you're still eligible for this. But if not, there are always promos running, and if you're catching a late replay, there's always things running. So don't stress out about that. But I always highly recommend people get started with one of two kits. The first one's the Nature Solutions. And the reason that I love this kit so much is because of all of the things that come in it. So for somebody who wants to build a business, we are required to become a product of the product, right? We are required to utilize the products that our company sells and then talk about that in a wholehearted, genuine, authentic way. So if we're not using the products, it's really hard to talk about them, right? So this is an amazing start for people, and I love this one. This is the one that I actually ended up starting with, even though I couldn't afford it. I got it. It comes with a lot of the healthcare products. So in terms of like the home care, self-care, Deep Blue, you've got your vitamins, and then you've got a whole array of oils and a box, and a diffuser to put them in. And for you really to get started on the right foot with this kit here. The beauty of this is it actually comes with a bottle of wild orange and a bottle of copaiba it's an extra this month. So that's a little bonus for you if you just wanted that extra little nudge to get started and jump right in. If that kit is not for you, which some people it's not, you don't want everything, you just want to start smaller, my recommendation is always the Home Essentials kit. This is the need for all builders. And if people don't enroll with this, I'll always recommend, which is going to cost you more in the end, but I always recommend putting your first few checks towards this kit, because it comes with your top 10 essential oils, which we always teach about when we're talking about oils at classes and events. So it comes with your top 10 that cover every single home essential need, everything, right? You've got your diffuser there. You have a beautiful guidebook. And then the beauty of it is it comes with wild orange and copaiba, which are two of my favorite essential oils, as a bonus on top of that. And it's $330, which is super affordable for anybody. The reason I love these two is because it gives you a little skin in the game, right? It's really easy for anybody to start a business at $42, get their business started, and there's really no skin in the game, right? Whereas with this type of kit, you're spending a little bit more money. It's a bit more of an investment. You're a bit more involved, and it's going to require you to do a little bit more work to pay that off. So what we do as a team is try and teach you to pay off your enrollment order in a couple of months, which I know there are so many people that have. And it is super incredible to start to have that happen. So all you would do is get your idea of your kit, then go over to that login, the enroll page, and go through that way instead of buying it this way, because it sometimes just messes you up. Yeah, so worth every penny. So I hope that that's beneficial for you guys. I really hope that you got something out of it. You are excited to jump on board and get your business started. And I'm really excited. Like, we are super stoked to welcome you to our team. It's so much fun. And yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome night.